How is everyone doing? Gonna make a quick post in Discord. If anyone's in there already, let me know how things sound, if you can see me, hear me, you can hear the music, stuff like that. Everything sounds balanced. I'd appreciate it. Should be good. Hello, Cooking Fish, Becca Godzilla. It's fine, all good. Okay, that is awesome to hear. I'm hoping that we can go through this stream without any issues, because the last couple of streams I've kind of been struggling with the tech here. So I'm crossing my fingers that we're going to be doing all right today. So far, so good. Watching same time when playing in server and event. There's an event going on? There's an event going on. This might not be a very good, a very well-timed stream, because people might be away, you know. Mecha Godzilla cool 3D model. Thank you. What is the event? Is it the like there was supposed to be like a scavenger hunt type thing, right? Is that today? Peru progress. Event was stealing flags. My Urano is protecting Cannibal Fort. Oh, okay. I did not know that was going on today. So we might not have very many people in here, but that's all right. People can watch the stream later. All right, so today my plan is, so I was talking in the last stream about how I really wanted to amp up the detail. I want to amp up the detail, especially in the like focal areas, which would be the face here, and the claws here. These are going to be exposed. They're not going to be covered in like fuzz, and the feet. So I want to make a few things, like a few tools or utilities that are going to help me crank up the level of detail in these areas. And it's also stuff that I can reuse on other models later. Keratin is a very common thing that we run into in dinos. There's lots of places where keratin pops up. Different types of skin textures, different types of imperfections. So today's going to be like, might not be a ton of sculpting. it'll be a lot of testing of stuff on the sculpt, but it might not be lots of direct sculpting. And we're probably going to be using maybe one new program that I don't normally use on stream. We're going to be using Substance Designer to generate some of these things. It's hard to say. Sometimes I have a plan that could work in Substance Designer, and then it ends up not going super well. So like Substance Designer is like on the fringe of my skill set as far as like familiarity with that like node based texture generation type system. So we'll see how it goes. It's chaos and I'm here for it. Smoxy. Mechagodzilla and suits the vocal area. I'm sorry, I don't know. Cool 3D model ghost speed. I kind of lost your chat thread. Listening while running this event. Oh, okay, you're in charge, Smogsy. Wow. Well, I won't be hoping not going to be a distraction. Yeah, Mecha. I'm not sure I follow. Not sure I follow what's going on. Maybe clarify what you're speaking about for me, please. Otherwise, I am lost. All right. So let me see. I have a bunch of references for kind of the skin texture, like the type of details I'm going for. But I have to. These textures are kind of excuse me. These textures are better like handled like piece by piece. A lot of people, they'll see like a texture and they'll try to incorporate every single aspect of the texture into one like final tile, basically. If you're sculpting, I mean, you can do that. It takes a lot of time. But if you're sculpting, I feel like it's better to break the texture down into like separate components and then add them back in like piece by piece. They get a little bit more usable that way, I suppose. Like you can use them in multiple different textures rather than having like one specific one. So that's the way I like to do it. So for this, I'm gonna do like this keratin grain. I'm going to attempt to do this kind of keratin grain first. Let me find a really quick sample of that. Let's see what would be good. So here, I'll show you some of my refs once I get a few of these on here. I just got to throw in a couple. running a double down event today. All right, this is my quick little gathering of ref for this particular thing. I'm looking at a lot of beaks, right? Beaks. It's kind of messy. I didn't organize this. So first thing I want to try to get is this sort of grain. You see how this has like directional kind of grain, like it's got striations here. They get kind of bigger up here. You can see the bigger markings. But I want this sort of very fine grain. And I want to try and get it kind of layered. Like there's another one here. You can see that grainy. It's not as good a photo as the other one, but it's got some directionality to it. That's what I want to try. And maybe a little bit of like stacked, yeah, just like some layering to it. So we'll attempt that first. And there's some other aspects of this stuff that I want, like this like flaky kind of quality here. See how there's like this ridge, there's like flakiness. I want that kind of stuff so I can like drag out onto the crest. What else was I looking at? There's different types of that. Like this guy has like some kind of like flaky sort of ridge pattern here. That would be cool. This guy has some of that also. There's a few different variations that I can try. And then some of this, I want to try to attempt to get a little bit of this softer, like, let me see if I have a good ref. Just like this softer skin quality. The spoonbills have been really useful here because their head feels very pterosaur to me. Like the bare skin going into the keratin here, this transition I think is very cool. And I want to incorporate some of that into the Tropeo. So this sort of like the skin feels very like paper-like too, very thin, like kind of a delicate texture. I'm not sure if I want to go that papery thin feeling on the Tropeo, but some of this can work. Smogsy, thank you for the donation. Bonk, hi, I would throw some money at you. Thanks so much. I was like focused on my reference sheet. Smogsy, I'll be listening while running the event. I'm not a distraction. Let's see. I'm kind of jumbled on chat right now. Suggest a parkour system for humans to escape from dinos. All right. There's no need to like repeat yourself multiple times. I'll try to get to everyone's messages as well as I can. If it starts turning into spam, someone's probably gonna remedy that here. That's a mean bird right there. Almost has fish scales on its beak. Yeah, it's got a very interesting like stacked layered effect. I don't think I'm gonna incorporate that part to the Tropeo beak, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So we'll get started. I've been talking a lot. So this is Substance Designer. I don't think I've used this on stream. Maybe like once for like a very short little period of time. But this is what Substance Designer looks like. It's kind of strange if you're not familiar with it, if you haven't used it before. But essentially, you're using patterns, shapes, and putting them into these nodes here. And there's different operations that affect the shapes that you're using, and they can create some very convincing natural textures. So that's what I'm going to be using here. It's been a while since I've used this, so I'm gonna do my best to remember what I'm doing, but I'm sure it'll come back. The thing about Substance Designer is like it's very strange. Like you have to kind of think a little bit abstractly. Think about what sort of geometric patterns could result in the effect that you're seeing. So I have this shape. I'm going to start with like I'm going to try and get that layered sort of stacking grain effect. I'm going to start with this. Let's see. What color are the eyes going to be? I don't know yet. ERX, the more I hear about this game, the more I want to play with all of the dinos and systems that you have planned. I hope the Kickstarter goes well. Roy Levis, been airbrushing my Astra Militarum troops all day, so it's nice to sit and relax here now. Oh, nice. How many more do you got to go? So this histogram scan is another weird node, but it's gonna like run through. I'm using it to like shave off the top of this. We're basically looking at a pyramid right here, right? Like a pyramid, but I don't want a pyramid. I want a flat-ish looking, sort of beveled surface. So that's what this is doing. It's going to kind of flatten out this cube a little. So I want to do that, and I also want to thin it out. I want to make it narrow. And it's starting to tile. You see how it's going left and right there? I don't want it to tile. We're going to use this to make a tileable texture, but this piece that I'm generating right here doesn't need to actually tile itself. Tiling mode. No tiling. So we just need one. We just need one little piece. We don't need like a whole thing. So we got that. I got about 95 troops total. Done zenithal spraying to get more shades. Doing a desert ski. Nice. So the zenithal highlight, I've seen that done a lot on minis. And I'm wondering like how much of the zenithal highlight like actually shows through onto the final like paint job. Like do you use like very transparent colors or something so that way you can kind of like see that underneath. Or does it just give you like an idea of where to put your shadows and stuff? Because I feel like it's very similar, like the zenithal approach feels very similar to what I would do in like an oil painting with like you would do like a grayscale painting of whatever it is, like say it's like a portrait, you do the whole thing in grayscale and you'd heighten all the areas you wanted to be light with white, and then you would glaze over that with very transparent like washes, glazes of oil paint, and then you try to get that to show through a little bit. So I'm wondering if it's a similar, but it might not be the same sort of approach. So what do I want to do now? I need these to stack on top of each other. I'll show you what it's doing right now. Like if I put this in here, see how it's popping up on the cube here? So first it's too harsh, like the we can obviously see the bevel. We'll take care of that in a second. But what do I want? We're eventually going to plug this into, I think it's one of these samplers. Tile sampler, maybe? Not tile random. Either of these could work. Tile sampler is probably what I use most often. Whether you take this pattern that we're generating, we're going to put it into the tile sampler. Pattern input. I wonder why it's not. It probably needs to be converted. Let me see. Let me see what's going on in here. Oh, need pattern input. Why are you not? It doesn't like the transform 2D. Put in a gradient map then. There it goes. It just doesn't like the node from the transformation 2D for some reason. So we put that in the tile sampler, and this is starting to generate the tiles, like the distribution on the surface. And if we put that into this node here, it should pop up on the surface here. Maybe it's too faint. Yeah, it's put it in the wrong node, I think. Why? Yeah. We'll figure it out as we go. I don't really even need it to show up here. I just need it to look good in the grayscale part here. But we'll worry about that later. What I need now is I do think I need a gradient. Linear gradient is probably going to be good. And probably a blend node. So we'll take this and we'll use it to multiply. Because what I want is for the bottom of this to disappear, basically. So that way we can layer multiples of them on top of each other. And it'll create this sort of like, kind of like a shingle effect. It's very little because the thin paint is 50-50, I see. Enamels and oil washes above it will tone down everything. I've embraced the Grimdark style. Grimdark is really, really cool. I do like that. Let's see. So it is. Need to control this and see. I can probably boost the levels on it. Levels. I want to do that. Something like this. Then we'll probably want to blur it. I'm gonna try to blur it because I want to get rid of this that very harsh bevel, because this looks like something you would see on a mech or something, not anything that you would see on a organic creature. So I'm gonna blur this to get rid of that a little bit. I want some structure, but not such a harsh line. I need to change this to high plane. Let's see. Okay. -1, hello, how's it going? Put this in here. Why is that? Oh, because you know why it's not working? Because it's a tile sampler, but for color. I don't have any color information. That's why it's not working. There we go. So, what you can start to probably see, let's see. We are going to start messing around with these. And I want the scale to go up. Size random, scale random. Size mode normal. Pattern number. So once we start adding all of these little randomizers here, everything's going to start to feel more natural, but it's going to look very weird in the beginning. I'm just trying to figure out how to reduce the number of instances. If I scale these at random, let's not tile this. I just want to see one thing. Oh, there it is. The amount. I don't want a ton of stuff in here. So that means I can reduce the scale a little bit. -1. Thanks so much for the donation. I don't know what to say. You're fine. You've said so much, and you've helped us out so much. We really appreciate it. Are you taking part in the event today? How are you doing? Let's see. I think I might want to stretch these out a little bit more so it's taller and thinner. We come back to this transform 2D. You work at night today, I see. So something like this. I want a little bit of random rotation, but it's doing it like at 90 degrees. I don't want that. Stop that. There must be a different rotation sort of thing here. Position random is good too. There's the rotation. Just slightly. Masking random is kind of interesting because it'll remove some of these, make it sparser. I don't think I want to do that, but I can darken some spots just a little bit. Do we have Ichthyornis as an AI type bird in the game? I'm not sure. So if you put that in there, you can kind of see what I'm trying to go for. It's not quite where I want it right now. What I want is like little like striations of keratin, but that they kind of like break off at random pieces, like random spots. And they also create like a kind of a stacked, like layered effect. So we're kind of getting there, but it's not quite where I'd like it. So we'll fiddle with it and keep moving. Part of it is like we could use maybe some, I don't know. We can probably play around a little bit here. Maybe wider would work. A little bit wider. And we can also distort this because it's still too geometric. I think I want to manipulate it a little bit more. We can do, what can we do? We can do a warp. A warp would, we can try a directional warp. Directional warp requires an input. So we'll see. I want to make it kind of like wavy, like not perfectly straight. So this Gaussian might help. See how it does that to the, like, if you look at the edges, see how it distorts it? But I want it to do it mainly to the vertical edge, not the side edge. So I want it to warp upwards and leave the sides alone mostly. Probably adjust my histogram scan a little bit so that way we have a tighter bevel. Neo, I have a question about AI fish for pescivore. Have mega piranha spawning in a river? Is that the question? Like, do we have mega piranha? I don't think so. I don't know if that's something that we have right now. I honestly don't know how many different fish we have in the game. That's probably more of a Furious question. If I randomize the scale too much, it starts to break. I think I want them fairly, like, mostly uniform with just a little bit of variation. So, like, I'll try and explain a little bit better what I'm looking for. I get my pen out. See how there's parts of it that are like starting to create these like overlaps. That's what I'm looking for. That's the like first impression that I'd like, but then like these little bit of like subdivs, kind of like scales, I guess, but kind of broken up. I did a similar, so I made a texture like this for the Stegosaurus. I made a Stegosaurus, and I like all the plates on it. I made a texture that I was really happy with. I would reuse it here, but unfortunately, that texture was on a hard drive that doesn't work anymore for some reason. It's like a brand new hard drive too, so I have no idea why it's not working. But yeah, sad day. I have to remake a resource. I was looking into like data recovery stuff to maybe get some of those resources back, because that's not the only thing I lost. But data recovery stuff is like hella expensive, at least around me. I wonder what happens. Let's see if we scale this. If we scale it down just a little bit. And then we add a little bit more on the X and Y. Add more on the X. That starts to look like fur. You can kind of see how you would go about, like, if I wanted to do some fur, I mean, I would have to change the alpha more. But you could do fur in here. It's kind of weird, like, how you could get that effect. You know, we started with a cube, or like a square, right? But you do all this stuff to it, and it eventually ends up looking like fur or whatever. In this case, we're trying to make some keratin green. I think part of what's not helping it is it's like too short vertically. So maybe if I make it a little bit stretched on the Y. Between turtle and fish, alligator snapping turtle and alligator garfish. What's my favorite? I would go... Ooh, those are two very cool animals. I think snapping turtle, alligator snapping turtle would win for me. I wanna actually sculpt one of those guys. I think I'd learn a lot. They've been the inspiration for several creature designs of mine. We can also do... I want to kind of trim it down too. Let me see. I wonder if I can do a histogram scan on this. Or histogram range or scan. I can't remember which one I did. Oh, this balances the values out. I need a scan. Position. That might not be as helpful as I wanted it to be. Maybe if we do it after the range. That might work better. I think maybe I still need to widen this. Just a little bit wider. Goliath tigerfish in freshwater and great barracuda in saltwater. Oh, you're giving me some hard choices. Goliath tigerfish, I think. I like their teeth. I could probably go more intense with this too. Let me see what happens if I adjust the scale of the what's it called? The Gaussian noise. We could also up the contrast a little bit too. It'll kind of intensify some aspects of this. That edge right there is doing more of what I would like it to. Then we blur it too much, I think. Kind of, it gets rid of the nice variation there. This might be too harsh. Let's try it without the blur. Ooh. No, that doesn't help. Maybe less intensity on the blur then. We do get a little bit of a edge like variation right there. Maybe if we warp the blur, that might be a better attempt. We'll use the same map to warp that. And then we'll do the vertical again. Let's see. Probably move this down. Does that work? It's introducing some weird noise in here. That might not be a problem. But I don't know. I think this is probably the better result. I think we're screwing up stuff. So we'll work with this. What is the difference here? That's intense. What am I doing? Mike Koalanko. What am I doing? I am making a alpha texture that I can drag onto my model here to get a keratin some keratin detail, increased keratin detail here. This is just one method of making stuff to use on models. I'm gonna try it out and see how it goes. Another way is just to like we could just like sculpt it and like duplicate that, like export an alpha based on that and then duplicate it around. But I kind of want to see what I can do procedurally, because it'll give me I can make variations on this much easier. Because it's basically all just a bunch of sliders that I'm moving around, and I'm getting like instant variations on stuff. So it's very easy. Whereas if I were doing it a different way, it would take a lot more time. I mean, it's taking some time to set this up, but I think it will pay off, hopefully. Want to know, Tropeognathus in-game can eat humans, dinosaur. I don't know. I'm assuming its primary function is a pescivore. I bet it could probably eat whatever it finds. If there was like maybe baby dinos or like dead, like carrion. It might not be like its optimum food, right? But I bet it would be able to at least eat it. So this is more what I like. I'm looking, so I'm not necessarily looking at this here. I'm looking at the grayscale pattern here. I like this mostly because it's got like nice directionality. But it's also got the like breakup of the layers on it. I think I need to make it a little bit smoother somehow. So maybe we'll try like a blur. Just to knock down some of those kind of harsher edges. And then we'll try to do, now that I have this basic structure, I want to try to add some warps onto it. It's not, I don't know. This is going to take a little bit of back and forth. But we'll get it there. I'm a little bit feel like I'm like trying to remember how this program works while at the same time trying to solve a problem. Probably not the best idea to do on stream right now, but we'll get it done. It's coming back to me slowly. There are some pretty cool, like I really do like Substance Designer. I wish I would come in here like more often. It's usually like very specific instances like this where I'm like, oh man, this should really be done. No, I should try to do it in Substance Designer. You can get really, really natural looking materials and stuff in here. And like I said, it has the added benefit of being very flexible, because you can try out a lot of stuff, and like I could try out a bunch of different things down here, right? But I'm not affecting any of this back here. So all this work that I did earlier is still preserved. So I can always go back if something isn't working the way I'd want it to. Which is really nice. And you can get like tons of variation out of this like very quickly. Like you'll see when I get to the point where I'm starting to try things out. But you can adjust a few parameters and you'll have like almost an entirely different texture. Just adding a little bit of warping here to affect like it just looked a little too straight. I want to add a little bit of waviness to things. Try to keep the directionality on it, but a little bit of wavy. A nice man, how's it going? Tropeognathus hunts prey, look like pelican and eagle. I think it would probably be like, are you talking like from a paleontology standpoint? It would probably be like a skim feeder, or maybe like more like a wading, like with its beak dipped in the water. I'd probably imagine it more like a skim feeder. I'm not too sure how pelicans actually... I've seen pelicans dive for food. I'm not sure if what other methods of feeding they have or demonstrate. I haven't actually done a ton of... I don't really use pelicans a ton for reference, other than some like beak references, because pelicans do grow that little it looks very much like a Tropeo crest on their beak. Some pelicans do. So this looks nice. I might adjust just a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more length, so we get more like unbroken strips of keratin. And then we could do a variation where it's like much more, maybe that's too much, but like much more broken in sections. But this like you see this could easily, like, you could do keratin. You could do more like this could be like tree. You could probably turn this to like tree bark. We already saw we could probably use this for hair or fur, depending on the scale. So you can see how quickly like stuff like this can be adapted. I'm wondering if I want to add, like, I could probably use the alpha like this, maybe with a little bit more contrast, just a tiny bit more. Oh, we also want to check how it tiles. I don't think I'm going to use it as a tile, like tileable. I'm going to use it as an alpha drag. So I'm mostly looking at this like central area. But I'm wondering, I could maybe do some, what do I want to do? Slope. Do I want to do a slope blur? What is the... There was one node that was very useful. Something to do with slopes. What the heck was it called? I can't remember right now. Maybe it's up here. Is it like fraction? Fracture? I can't remember. I have to think about it. But anyway, let me see if I can... I'll try adding a little bit of texture to this. Maybe like a grunge. Problem is, if I do it too much, it'll start looking noisy. It'll start looking very grainy when I drag it out onto the model. So I have to be kind of careful about this. Put that there, put this there. Opacity. You see how much like little, there's like very tiny like little noisiness in there. See see all of that? I don't need that sort of detail too much. What I need is probably more like something less grainy, something more just like has interesting dark and light pattern, just to make the surface like undulate just a little bit. I don't need all the graininess. I mean, honestly, the Gaussian noise is like one of my most used nodes because it's got a nice like distribution of lights and darks. You can use it. See how it's getting like a nice little bumpiness, but it's not noisy. Like you could make it noisy, like if you increase the scale. But I just want like some nice surface change. It's nice because it's already kind of blurry anyway. Have I ever seen a pelican swallow a live pigeon? Yes, I have. I don't know if it like ate it or if it was just being kind of like ornery, right? Like maybe the pigeon was getting on its nerves or something, and it decided to bite it. So this might be okay. We can try it. Save the image out as black and white image. My resources. Keratin. It's coming in as a TIFF. TIFF might be fine. It's kind of, I always struggle like trying to figure out how to organize all this stuff, because in the end of it, I'm gonna have like a ton of variations on this probably, and it's all gonna get jumbled in there, but we'll see how it goes. Let us see how this works in here. We gotta import that resource that we just made. So we have this keratin alpha right here. We can try using it as is. I'm gonna store. Should I store a morph target or make a layer? Do a layer. Sharky, how's it going? Yeah, see, that works pretty well, I think. I feel like it's gonna add just that little bit of grain, that little bit of graininess in there, but it also has that like, I probably need to subdivide more, but it has that little like choppiness to it where like certain grains of the keratin are broken. That feels nice. How's Sharky, how's everything going with your models? What are you working on? Or can you talk about what you're working on? Yeah, I like this. I think this works well. So this is cool. I like that. So we can see what we just added in here, right? Like, see that? That works. That works. I'm gonna try and do a couple variations on this, just to make sure I got a good amount of. I'm covering the bases, you know. Because one thing when you're testing alphas, you also want to test that it works. Like it works small. Does it like how much variety can you actually get out of it? Can I like if I make this bigger, does it actually still work? I think it does. It's got that nice like it's random, but it's not too random. Losing your mind on hair cards right now. Yeah. I'll be in that boat soon. That's cool. Okay. I feel like that was successful. Let's try a couple variations on that. We'll save this out. So this is oh, these graphs always confuse the heck out of me. I wonder if we can duplicate this. Let's see. We'll save it. Make sure we save it because it's working. Then we'll go, let's see. Can I duplicate this package? I forget how this stuff works. I add a new substance graph. I think this will work. I see what it did. I gotta rename this or save it. For video games, you probably gotta sculpt some feathers, right? Because too many cards can tank performance. We're looking into some different approaches on how to do it. I will have cards on the model, because let's see. There are certain parts, like if the concept I have has like very short fur on majority of the model, but in like certain places, like on the head, he has like a little crest, and there might be some other areas where I want anywhere I want the fur to pop off the silhouette, I'm going to have to create cards. So there's probably going to be cards mixed in with some other stuff in here. So little patches of hopefully well blended cards. Like this sort of thing will happen here. So that is part of the plan. So I might be dealing with cards, but it'll be in little sections like this. I don't really want to deal with a whole body of cards. That is the plan. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll be doing it on stream, so you guys will definitely see how it goes. I wonder if I can copy this node setup. copy this whole thing. And paste it in here. Because I want to make a quick variant. Yeah, that works. Sweet. I like the detail base setup though better. Let's save this, and then we'll save as. We'll do a save as. Overwrite this. And then this will become the second variation. There is a way to like have multiple graphs in the same file. That would be a lot neater, but I don't know how to do it right now. Close package. No. Wait. I did something wrong. Oh no. Will there be a future vid about all dinos and their roles in EOE? Sounds like a good idea to do that. I'm not sure when or where that would happen or who would be doing it. Probably not me. I don't have like... I'm not someone with like a huge overview of everything going on in the game. My focus is mainly on the dino models. So that's what I work on and deal with most of the time. As far as like all of the dino models and like their role in the game and like how they work mechanically and like how they balance with each other, that's not really my realm. What was I doing? Oh, variations. So let's select this. We'll move this up here. Maybe I'll just like do this for the time being, just in case I want to go back to that first iteration. So what shall I do here? Maybe we try like a wider, slightly wider grain size, I suppose that would be. Let's see. How did that affect things? Maybe even wider. Let's squash this. Maybe that's also not the right shape. Maybe a Because it's like it's popping out of the gradient is part of the problem. Is it? Let's see. A little bit. It's popping out of the gradient a little bit. Drastic pixelation. Oh. Hey man, no spamming in the chat, please. I appreciate you being here. But you don't really have to like spam to get attention. I try my best to go through the chat and acknowledge anyone who's willing to comment. So if you'd probably have more luck if you just kind of, you know, comment and then be patient. I will do my best to acknowledge whoever's taking the time to talk to me, you know. I'm not rude like that. I don't just ignore people who want to talk to me. I've tried to be like, I don't want to get like very strict or whatever in the stream, but I've seen you do it like a few times already, so let's try. I want to try like a half circle maybe instead of because I like how it's working generally. Like I like the shapes, but I think the edge here is just too, it falls off too fast. This feels like, have you ever looked at magnified magnifications of butterfly wings? It kind of feels like that. It's cool, but it's not really what I'm going for. So let's try a half circle. See if that works. I need to change the shape here though. Where is the shape selection? I think it just gives me choices on the number of sides. That's kind of cool. Look at that. Sometimes I like stumble on ways to do stuff that I just never would have thought of. So like this feels like feathers. See that? And sometimes I just have to like stop and save stuff out, or like I think this might be useful in the future, so I should like not screw with that right now. And then we'll move over to a different one, and then we'll continue our adjustments. But that looks cool. This looks like feathers to me. You would have to adjust it, of course. But this could be, you could make it into feathers, or you can make it into like, if you made them wider, it could go into like dragon scales or something. Snake scales. What am I doing in Substance Designer right now? I'm trying to make some variations on this keratin grain texture that I was working on. I got distracted. Got distracted by this feather thing that I found right here. But I'm making alphas to bump up the detail in my Tropeo sculpt. Oh, I did the wrong. I made changes to the wrong thing. So I have an alpha that I'm happy with. This is Substance Designer. This might be too like scaly. Too much scale looking stuff. Not enough like I mean maybe it could have that like layered quality that I want in there somewhere. It looks like it could work. We'll try it out. We'll see how it goes. Where is my histogram scan? Maybe try to increase this position some more. Probably a little bit more warp, honestly. We might do a couple warps because or maybe we'll try a bigger. The other thing I could do is I can make multiple shapes. Like right now I'm just working with one shape and getting this like variation out of it. I could do more than one shape. So I could take this whole node system here, duplicate it, and then make another scale like keratin shape, and then input that into the tile sampler again for even more variation. That's a possibility. Let me see what I can get away with this with these warps though. Let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna do another directional warp on here. We can use the same. Do I want to use the same generator? We can try it. Sometimes it's nice to like reuse resources earlier in the node tree. But sometimes it just results in too similar stuff. Like it just looks too samey. What if I do the opposite way? The intensity might be too much. It's starting to get these like little pointed things. I don't really like those. Are you doing feathers now? No, this is still keratin stuff. I'm trying to get like still more of that like layered effect on the alpha, so I can maybe drag out and get some nice details in here. I'm trying something like, see this here, just this little area, how it flakes and stacks on itself. I'm trying to get that in here just a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. I feel like the edge, I think it's the shape of the edge. Maybe I should try a different warp, a different map for the warp. Because the what I'm seeing on the cassowary is like kind of more rounded. It doesn't like it doesn't stick out with like little sharp points very much at all. Let's see what happens if we do a different style. This Varanoi might work. I mean, it's already more rounded. What happens if I scale it down? Yeah, certain like intervals create more round, or more like sharp parts. Thank you, ERX. Yeah, I feel like that's so I try to be efficient. But I feel like there's just some things that just take time, right? Like some stuff you just can't rush. So like I don't want to like dig into details and like waste time, but I also am not going to like I don't want things to feel cheap. And part of making things not feel cheap is just taking the time to do what you need to do to get it, you know, to get the quality you want. like, you know, this stuff I'm making, I will keep and I will reuse in the future on other models. Maybe we like, because we do have other pterosaurs, so maybe the next pterosaur I will use some of these on the next pterosaur. So in a sense, I am saving time. It's just like, it's not immediate. Like, people want immediate, like, save time now. Sometimes you have to invest time to save time later. That's something I've learned. If you make the tools that you need to, like, make your life easier, you can save time down the road. It's a bit of a snowball effect. Like, as I've gone on in my career, I've made more and more and more tools, and I can get faster and faster and faster. But in the beginning, of course, you're like starting from zero, right? So you don't have all of that available to you. So it can take time to build that up. Another thing I could do is I could just make a shape like this and then take the alpha and put it in here right away, so I don't have to like adjust all of this in Substance. But excuse me, I'm kind of having fun in here, so back from the event, my team won. Thanks to Dinosaur 5505. Awesome. So what do you get when you win? What is the prize? Bragging rights? Puru growth when it comes out. Oh, nice. Okay. I feel like I got a little bit sidetracked with this flake texture. I was initially just trying to make slight variations to this one. So maybe we should actually do that too. I got distracted. This one. I'm just going to play around with some of these parameters and see if I like any. So we could go shorter. So there's a little bit more. This has more like sustained long. Oh, we can do this. This has like sustained long strands of keratin. I'm calling them strands. They're like, I don't know what to call them, honestly. Keratin is like a compressed fibrous structure, right? So there are like little striations in it. So we can do something like this to get more like sustained grain. So we'll do that. We'll save that out as another one. Smoxy finally free. So you were like refereeing or like overseeing, or were you were participating as well? How is the Tropeo? What am I doing now? I'm making a bunch of keratin texture stuff that I can add to the Tropeo. So I'm doing a lot of this node editor stuff right now. I don't know if you're familiar with Substance Designer, but that is what I'm doing now. This is going to get messy real quick. I'll probably just have to organize it after stream. I'm a little bit in like a flow state right now, which feels nice. So I don't want to worry too much about the file structure. So next variation I want to try is maybe something shorter. Something that's like just more focused on stacking the ends. I'm just kind of playing around with these to see what I find. That's nice too. Oh, you were one of the flags, so you're you're running away from everybody, I see. Yeah, it's custom, technically, yeah, custom alphas for brushes and stuff. I want to amp up some of the detail in the Tropeo, but I don't necessarily want to. I'm trying to work smarter, not harder, you know? Like this has required a little bit of setup, but right now I'm able to generate like quite a few like variations on the texture just very quickly. Like this is another variation that I kind of like. It's it's got some nice qualities that I want. So I'm just dialing it in and then I'm saving stuff out. So I have 3 so far that I like. I also found like a potentially a cool way to do feathers. Where was that one? Might not work on the Tropeo, but where'd I put it? This looks cool to me. This is like featherish. Would need tweaking, but that looks cool. So I found that, and then we have these 3 variations. Let's see. I want to try something that's like maybe we can try and get like 4 different variations and then call it good, and actually maybe do some sculpting on here today. I can try out this like flaky texture that I did too. See how that looks. I think that one needs a little bit more work. A little bit more work though. So let's take this down. I wonder what happens if I make these more even. That looks too... Nah, that breaks the illusion. What if I reverse it? That's not what I want either. What might be nice is to add just a little bit of a curve to this, because it's very straight. Like it has some little bits of like wiggle in there, but what's really nice sometimes in ZBrush is to have an alpha that has a very slight curve to it. Like if I look at one of my favorite alphas, which is this one, the leathery skin alpha, you can see it has a very slight downward curve, and it's nice because you can drag it around curvy like this. You can follow the curves on a model basically. So I might want to do that in the keratin stuff. See how you can drag this out along that curve. It's a very slight little shift there, but I think it's worth maybe exporting one. So I'll do that. I'll do a quick curvy one. You get a bonus stream this week? What is the bonus stream? We'll do directional warp. And then I want a shape. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Do you? I kind of want to watch it. I wonder. Where's the stream? Who was streaming? It'd be fun to see people running around chasing after the flag. I think I want just a radial gradient. This should give me a curve, but I need to make it bigger. Something very slight. Maybe something around there. I can adjust this. Dinosaur. Hey, go ahead and take your rest. You deserve it. The flags were stationary until we were tagged. I see. Okay. I hope admins get some videos of the event. It was chaos. It sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. I think I'm going to have stream is going to end in about 10 minutes. I'm going to take a break and get some lunch. And then I think I'm actually going to pop into the game and mess around a bit. I haven't had a chance to, and I have some free time this afternoon. So let's save this out. This is a nice curved grain. And we'll try it out on the model. See how it goes. We'll try all of these out on the model. Import import all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna try and pop in Smugsy. On stream, I don't know about on stream. I was thinking about that. Maybe I could play on stream one of these days. I'm not. I mean, I'm down to play on stream. I think it would be fun. My only worry is like my performance wise. I think my computer can handle it if it can handle this stuff, but the requirements might be different, you know. So I'm a little bit leery about that. This works. I like the curve. I think the curve is enough. I actually might be. No, that works. I think. It's very subtle. Can be very subtle. I might be able to get away with blurring it just a little bit more. I wonder if it'll work bigger. I think that's too intense. I might need to bend it more. It generally works like on broader curved parts. Let's try some down here. I've kind of ignored this this part. Let's see how quickly we can texture up this lower part of the beak with our new stuff. This might be a good testing ground. We'll try this longer version first. I think I need some resolution. I need some resolution in here. I have an idea. We'll hope this works. Duplicate. And then we'll get, because this mesh has been giving me issues with higher subdivs for some reason. But what I will do is I will bake this down. Sometimes I hate layers. I hate how it mixes up the materials and stuff like that. It's really annoying. I will bake this down and then I will cut off his head, I think. I might need to chop his head off. Then we could detail it up and then we'll just bake those details onto the we'll bake those details onto the low poly when it's ready. It might make my life a little bit more complicated because I have to worry about these overlaps. Oh. But I think it's worth it for the detail that we can get. So I will do it. So we'll do that. Let's see. We'll delete the lower. We'll delete hidden. Modify, delete hidden. We'll save this because it might want to crash on me again. And then what I need to do is I need to reconstruct the subdivs a few times. Okay. I think that's the lowest it can go. Yeah. And then we can subdivide one more time. So now it's 14 million polys just on the head itself. Come back over here to the old model. We'll hide the head like that. So I'm gonna have to be very careful where these two meshes intersect and make sure they're intersecting like perfectly. That's the annoying part of working with separated meshes like this, but we'll deal with it. By the way, Raul, have you played Avatar Frontiers of Pandora? Yes. That game, so I have a little bit of mixed feelings about that game. I think a lot of people do. Like the gameplay, like the Far Cry base gameplay is decent. Like it's not like, it can get repetitive and all that stuff. Like you probably heard people talk about that. I feel like I agree with most of that criticism. What I had a lot of fun doing was just exploring the world. I think they did a really good job of like crafting the world. It's really fun to just like roam around and look for stuff and like just be there, you know. I found it like actually very relaxing to just like cruise around on the Banshee and just see what's going on, you know. That world is, I really love the scale, like the sense of scale that they got in there. I mean, just being able to fly on a Banshee is really fun. I do kind of want to check out the DLC that just came out for it. See how that is. I have not seen the movie. I haven't seen the new movie that just came out. So I have no idea, like, should I see the movie before I play that? Or is it fine to play it without seeing it? I don't know. Yeah, it's not the most amazing, groundbreaking story ever, right? Like, there were story beats that are very predictable. Stuff like that. Cryptid, really recommend the movies. It's very nice and wonderful experience overall. Simple story, but with lots of heart in it. I've seen the first film and Way of Water. I should go see the third film before it gets out of theaters. Probably a good idea. If you love VFX, it's indeed amazing for artists in general. There's a lot of passion involved from creatives. Yeah, I have a friend who animated well, he didn't animate on this film. He animated on The Way of Water. So he was telling me some stuff about like his experience. It would be cool to work on a project like that. It does sound a little stressful. I'd say the third film is the most interesting. A lot of freaky stuff in it. There's a scene where the POV character is high on crack. I'm gonna go watch the most recent movie for the 5th time this week. I think so. I did watch the first film a lot. I probably got around like 3 or 4 times. Probably. I did really love that movie. I only watched Way of Water once, I think. I think I want this here. Oh, what happened here? I changed the color. There we go. Alrighty. Looking at the time, I think it's a good point to stop. I think we made some good progress. I'm probably going to make more of these alphas. There's several other variations that I want to make. That I didn't really get to today. But I like how it's turning out. Like this area here that I just detailed. It needs more like it needs hand sculpting on top of it, of course. I don't like to leave alphas just bare like that. So I'm gonna do some hand sculpting on top of it, but I think it feels nice. Like it feels grainy. Like it feels like the striations that I'm seeing on the cassowary cask. I want to try to make some of those flaky kind of elements. I'll probably do that as a separate pass. And then there's a bunch of skin details that I want in here to get the quality of the skin correct. So we'll keep working on that. I don't know if I'll do that on stream. I'll probably do that in my own time. Before Wednesday, probably. and then we'll just keep moving. Time for food. Yes, Smugsy, that's a good idea. Imagine a game where you control Pandora creatures instead of Navi. That would be interesting, yeah. Have you done more of the Tropeognathus inside, aside from the head? I just got to the stream. I can do a quick overview for you, Cryptid. I mean, we're focusing mainly on the head because the body is going to be covered in fuzz. But so I still have details on the body, but it's just like skin. But yeah, it's coming along. So all the wings they've got some good details. I want to do more. We're missing some. So I had an accident, right? Because the stream died on me, or like the ZBrush crashed on me. So I lost some of my work that I was doing on the feet, but we'll do more. We'll get it back. The feet and the hands are like the next part that I need to do. I got to get all the little scales and stuff on there, but it's coming along pretty well. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it, I think. That's the overview. Thank you, Sorian. I really appreciate it. I am trying my best. Pterosaurs are weird animals. Oh, you were here when you lost the work before? Really sad. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, maybe I'll see some of you in game. I apologize ahead of time if I chomp on one of you guys. But that's the kind of thing. That's something I'm kind of like. I don't want to like kill one of somebody and then have them get mad at me. But I'll do my best to play today, and maybe I'll see some of you in the servers. Thanks everyone for being here. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye bye everyone.